Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the Evan Here's Culture campaign. Today we have yet another special guest in our line of special guests. He is the host of Fake Radio, a show which is far superior to the show you're watching now.
Not at all.
It is the fantastic Eazy Jackson. Eazy, how are you?
What's up, y'all? I'm chilling, bro.
I'm excited to have you here. We're getting a little
Thank you.
applause from the peanut gallery.
We got an audience over here.
That just shows, the amount of respect the folks have for you.
Yeah, bro. Absolutely.
And I have a lot of respect for you, and I've been wanting to have you on the show for a while, and it's finally.
I've been on for a while, bro. I'm happy to be doing it.
Yeah, because you're kind of. I think of all the people I know, you have maybe the most encyclopedic, sort of comprehensive, like hip-hop knowledge.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's fair characterization, that you're kind of,
absolutely.
that you're the guy who knows all there is to know? And so,
not all there is to know.
There's always more to learn.
I know a lot about music. I've been listening since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I know a lot.
It's a big part of your identity when you say just like listening to music and talking about music and
I check my screen time on my iPhone, and people were like, yo, I'm so scared. I got like 3 hours Instagram each day, and I checked and it was 6 hours on Apple Music. I was like, I'm not on Instagram, so fuck y'all.
And does that count? That's actually looking at the screen with it on.
I'm not
right?
sure. I try to finesse the algorithm. You know what I'm saying?
You're trying to get the best stuff recommended
I want
to
to
you.
know the inside.
So we're definitely gonna have you back in the future if you'll come on for more sort of hip hop kind of oriented albums, or just anything that
I listen to pop punk. I listen to R&B.
Yeah, we'll get you. Well, and speaking of R&B, that's kind of what we're more or less looking at today. We're looking at an album that's a little R&B, little Neosoul, I guess you would call it. Oh, electronic in some ways.
Yeah.
We're looking at Sampha's 2017 album, Process.
Yes, sir.
Which is, I'd say, a pretty interesting work of the decade for sure, of the 2010s. I am a new. That car alarm is very excited for the show. I'm a guy who's just coming in from an outsider perspective. Trying to find out more, trying to learn. I imagine you were probably aware of Sampha and stuff that he was putting out probably before this album even came out. Is that?
Yeah. I think the first time I heard his voice was on Nothing Was the Same in 2013, 2014, whenever I listened to it, on Too Much. That's definitely I didn't think anything of it, though I didn't know it was a sample. I didn't know what, I just liked the voice, And then 2016 came around and he was on Solange, he was on St. Pablo, he was on all the endless shit with Frank Ocean. So I was I kind of couldn't escape him at that point. And then I remember this album Process came out top of 17, and at that point I was like, oh, he got a whole project, and I listened to it, no skips, bro.
Really, every track,
every single one
does it for you. Yeah, for sure. It's interesting that he's a guy sort of elusive. It was difficult to track down any real information about him beyond some of the biographies surrounding Process, the album, and then he's built up this profile from all these appearances on other people's stuff. It was on the Kendrick album last year, which is probably of recent things, probably his biggest thing. It's the most street.
And he did that shit with Lil Saliva that popped off too.
Right. Yeah. So he's built a profile for himself, and so far this is his one solo album.
Yeah.
Hopefully I want more.
I want more too, but I wouldn't be mad if he kept it.
This is it. This is the statement where it ends and stops. So what was your experience listening to this for the first time, encountering it, and kind of knowing a bit of what you were getting into, but maybe not the full scope?
I just, cause like nothing like comes like, I'm on Apple Music like all the time, but like it's like the start of the year, so nothing's like really coming out. And I remember this was like the first album that came out that I was like excited about, and then I kind of expected just from how his voice sounds and like what he was doing on like, especially like the Frank Ocean stuff like with Jasmine Sullivan, like I kind of knew it was gonna be like kind of elusive, kind of cryptic, kind of minimal. And then like the first song came on and I was like, it was what I expected. And then actually no lie, I probably heard the piano song first, like just on the radio or something, and I like really liked it, but I didn't like hear the whole thing. And then it popped on the album. First song I was like into. Then the second song is really kind of what I think it was like a single, but I didn't hear it until
the second song is what tells you you're in for something good.
Yeah,
really. That first song, Plastic 100 Degrees,
I love it. Like
it's a great song, but that's like Blood
like,
on Me.
It was what I expected. But then the second track, I was like, oh, this is like we really like.
He's got more in the bag of tricks.
Yeah.
That song is great. And then so you were hooked on the second track, and then you kind of just
and then I just
and then,
for sure.
Yeah, my sort of experience was I had no idea what I was getting into, unlike you, where you heard that first track and you knew kind of to expect something in that R&B wheelhouse. I'd just seen the cover, I'd seen the title, I'd seen some of the song titles, and for some reason I thought like Process, like, oh, we're getting into his like musical this is some very like I saw the song track, No One Knows Me Like the Piano, and I'm like, I bet this is gonna be a new classical album.
Okay.
Nothing like that at all. I was totally surprised to pop in there and get to experience it. And if I'm being sort of honest, that second track did really capture me, Blood on Me. I mean, I swear that it just comes, and with the all that stuff right at the top, that just totally pulls you in. But I didn't necessarily, I walked away going, this is a good album, I appreciate this. I don't know if I am totally in love with it, or I'm gonna, necessarily, well, I was obviously going to revisit it when it came time to do the episode and whatnot, but it wasn't the most memorable thing I thought I'd ever heard. But then, and this gets into an interesting sort of question of, do you need to know something about the biography of the artist to get a full appreciation of the works they're putting out? Because as the album is about him processing, it's pretty on the nose, the title, the death of his mother. And that really, just going back and knowing that, I just found so much more, knowing how personal it was really changed my outlook on it. I don't know, did you have a similar sort of, that bit of
I knew it. I was like familiar with it when I was like listening to it again and again. I kind of just knew that. It definitely changes my perspective on it. But also I just like how it's written, because it's like I like shit that's like written about specific stuff, but it's like you can kind of spin it however you want to spin it. Like I was probably like 17 listening to it, so I probably like was listening to it thinking about like, oh, this is just like me and that girl, whatever. But like in real life, it's about something a lot deeper. But it's definitely not surprising just at how focused like everything is, like the concept of it. So
everything kind of, not every song necessarily touches on it specifically, but there are definitely tracks on there like Blood on Me was one of my favorite tracks, but the right head and neck with that is the No One Knows Me Like the Piano, because that's a gorgeous piece of music. I mean, you know, what he is, and that felt to me like the most personal
Yeah.
track on the album. I mean,
For sure.
maybe like Cora Sings
personal.
was approaching that, but that, you know, No One Knows Me Like the Piano and My Mother's Home, and he's talking about the angels with her, and in terms of like those kinds of songs about that, you know, these self-reflexive songs about what making music itself means to the artist who's singing the song. It's like this is like, feels to me like almost a standard, you know, like a modern classic of a song.
Sure.
You get similar vibes from that one, or was there
From that, like, it's a classic?
Yeah, just
I mean, it was definitely playing on the radio heavy when it first came out.
It just feels to me like a song that every musician who plays the piano should be doing covers. In a way, like those, you know.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Like you know, it's kind of like in the same way, like To Make You Feel My Love, the Bob Dylan song.
Okay,
everybody does covers of that over and over.
Yeah,
Even though he's specifically talking about his mother, he's, you know, hitting that universal experience.
Yeah.
It really reminded me of a song. I don't know if you will have heard this song. It's a Billy Joel song with Ray Charles on it called Baby Grand, where it's just the two of them talking about how they can always, you know, when the troubles of life are getting them down, they can always return to the joy of playing the piano. And you know, that one's a little, not tongue-in-cheek, but that one's a little more, well, maybe tongue-in-cheek, but a little bit, you know, approaching the topic in a very different way. Where this song is like tapping into the deep melancholy of it in a way. I mean, Blood on Me. Those are the two tracks that really stood out.
That you really liked.
That I really like. There's things on what is it? It's not is it Impossible Kisses or Incomplete Kisses? That's
I really like the lyrics on that one.
That's another, as you're saying, that's another one that's open to a lot of interpretation.
Yeah, that one I was like, the first time I heard that I was like, I don't know what he's talking about exactly, but I know I'm supposed to be sad right now.
Yeah.
Incomplete Kisses.
What's it about? Is it about a relationship that didn't pan out? Is it about
I think it's
his
about
mother
his
again?
Mother, incomplete. It's incomplete.
He didn't get to finish. He's still dealing with that loss in his life.
Yeah.
That's good. Under is another
Under,
one.
Under, I think now that I'm thinking back to it, I think I heard the piano song and I was like, oh, he got a new album, but like, I'm not like checking for him like that. Like, I know who he is, and then I heard Under, like, just come up on my like recommended mix, and I was like, oh, this is like a good album. Like, I should.
This is something that's gonna leave an impact or make a mark.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people seem to point to Reverse Faults as being a song that really captures them. I think
that's my favorite. Yeah. Or not my. Again, no skips, so I really love them all, but Reverse Faults, I think, is like the one I come back to a lot, because it's just like, it works with more settings, like when I'm just like at a party, when I'm just like taking a stroll, like it just kind of.
That one.
Yeah.
What is it about that one?
That one? Because it's just like, it's cool because it's like, it's a little more upbeat, but it's also like, he does that thing, I think Steve Lacy does it too, where he's like, he's insecure and he's kind of like honest about his like shit, but he still makes it look like hella cool. You know, like Frank Ocean does it cool.
Yeah, he makes being insecure or be a cool thing or like a badge of honor.
He makes it like cool and sexy, but he also makes it like sound universal, which it is universal. Like, everybody is insecure, so like, it's one of those things, like, you can play. I've never seen him live, but I'm sure like at festivals, like that song, like everybody's like singing along to it. Like, everyone's like holding up the light. Like, that's kind of how
that's the big stadium waving the lights. Yeah, I don't know if these are great wave the lights kind of songs, but that one kind of breaks the mold there. I guess we sort of you touched on it a little bit. That first song, Plastic, is once I had, you know, grown that like appreciation for the album, that one did start to jump out a lot for me as being the great stuff. You know,
Yeah.
Reminds me of that song from Chicago, Mr. Cellophane. I don't know if you've ever heard that one at all, but incredibly different. That one's much more schmaltzy and razzle dazzle. But this was taking that same sort of concept of being this vulnerable substance that's at the whim of all the conditions sort of surrounding it, or is that your interpretation of that song, you think?
Just like, my interpretation is just like, when I first heard that, is like, cause like mad people, cause like I wasn't like, cause there's like huge Young Turk heads out there. Young Turks, that's the record label, not the like,
not the news network. No.
But like, they listen to Twigs, they listen to like XX, so like they kind of knew who he was because he was like working with all that, and so like, and then like he was with Kanye, he was with Drake, like he was with all this. So I think like that song is just like, this is like the first time in a while, because like I think he dropped the EP in like 2012, 2013,
something like that.
Yeah, so it's like the first time like in a while you've like heard like from him personally. So he's just like, he's melting, like it's too hot out here. That's how I kind of, that's what I kind of feel. He's just going through shit. He's just like, this is like, just, like standard intro, like this is where I'm at right now. It's kind of,
Do you think he is the kind of guy who responds, because I feel like he's elusive, I feel like he's a bit of a mystery. Do you think he responds to fame well, or the notoriety that he's kind of been gaining and the traction over the years?
And I think I said earlier, like, I wouldn't be mad if he like never drops album again. I think he does his thing, he does shows. I don't know if he does shows, I think he does shows. But he like pops up on like, he's on the new Kendrick, he does stuff with Drake, he does like, I'll like occasionally like hear him do something, like he still does stuff with like Solange, he does stuff with Beyonce. It's like, he kind of know, like, that he's like very involved in like the best people in music, or like some of the best people in music. So I think he kind of stays in his lane, he kind of does his thing. I think when he like kind of rose to like prominence, it was probably a lot, which is why he was melting. But like now, I hope he's happy. I don't know. His Tiny Desk is classic too.
I gotta watch that. I didn't get a chance to. I watched a live performance. I can't remember from what No One Knows Me, like the piano.
He has a few of those.
Yeah, because that's the song that people, ask him when he's booked on something. They're like, can you play that one for us? Because that's, the one, at least in my sort of estimation. I think what you're saying about him working with all these people, he's one of those people who's kind of the artist.
Yeah.
He's like, he's just to the side of the mainstream. Or, if you know music, like Eazy, Sampha.
What did I say about? I think it's pronounced Sampha because he's
Sampha.
British. He's British,
They probably he's British. Won the Mercury Prize for this album, which is like the British Album of the Year.
Oh, it's like the British Grammy.
Yeah, it's like, well, at least I don't know if it's a whole event, but it's like they give out an award for the best album by a UK artist every year, and he won this one. We covered on the show before this PJ Harvey album, Let England Shake. Excuse me. That also won that award. It's interesting. I went through today and started in the 90s. I looked through all the nominations, and it'll be like a bunch of bands that you've heard of that are nominated, and some band you've never heard of that wins the award, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just interesting. You see like. I've never been the biggest Radiohead fan, but you see Radiohead nominated, never won,
Oh, really?
But Sampha was able, so he's greater than Radiohead, is what we've
not super hip to Radiohead
determined.
Music,
but if awards are anything to base it on, then he's done it.
Saint Pablo is one of my favorite Kanye songs of all time. And Too Much is one of my favorite Drake songs. So like he's very in. You can't have that without him. Also, we can't forget Let It All Work Out, where Lil Wayne sampled him for the closer of the Carter 5. That's also classic.
Right.
Classic. Yeah.
He's got his fingerprints on some of the greats. Is there anything else, any other tracks or something that you feel like we kind of need to touch on. I mean, pull it up. There's Timmy's Prayer.
I would say that one I really like too. That's the only one where he's swearing. That one I feel like is really really good because like that one I feel like you see like a different side of him. Like, he's a little more like angry. It's a little more raw. Yeah, I heard like something that like Kanye was involved in like the writing. I don't know if that's true. I don't think that's true, but if it is, I'm sorry. But
no need to apologize.
That one I feel like when I heard it, I was like, damn, this is like the raw shit. Yeah,
the raw shit, the from the heart.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all from the heart. You like can't deny that he's tapping into something.
Yeah.
So he's not making, this is a somewhat cliche thing to say, but he's making music for himself. Yeah. He's not making it for the big audience.
No.
He can gain the big audience, but that's not his like primary focus. I think I don't know if there's anything else. It's like I think there's probably a lot of people who haven't heard this album that if they were to listen to it could find something really deep and personal to connect with on this album, and it could become one of their favorite albums.
Sure.
For me, it didn't quite hit that.
Yeah.
Except for moments like No One Knows Me, like the piano and things like that. I don't know if it's just because I don't share that experience on the same level he has, or if it's just, there's something that's not the things that my brain wants to hear in music aren't present or something, but it's, he's a great talented artist. I want to see what he does next, if anything happens.
Great producer too. He produces on a lot of different artists. He produced the whole album along with, I think, another dude from Young Turks. But yeah, if you listen to the deluxe, the final song, the final bonus track on the deluxe is just an instrumental that he made. I don't know if you checked it out, but
no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes my research is not as comprehensive as it needs to be.
No, he dropped a deluxe. He dropped a deluxe for this album a year ago, like February 2022. So like right when I moved to LA, and I revisited it, and I was like, it's not. But then he has one song, he has two songs. One of them he's singing on, which I don't like that one as much as his like other stuff. I like understand why he did that. But then there's another that's just like instrumental that I think he produced good. It's cool. It's like definitely electronic, but it's like it's his style of thing. So I like that.
Yeah. The electronic stuff, I guess I will check. Like, he's doing some very interesting, hitting the neo of Neosoul.
Yeah.
He's looking towards the future, or carving out a new avenue of his own in the way he's incorporating some of those sounds. But do you have any sort of final thoughts on this album, Eazy? Anything that?
No, I think no skips. I think vulnerability, insecurity, but like powerful, minimal. I think we got it all. We got it all covered.
All the bases covered. Yeah. Well, it was a pleasure to have you on for this episode, and you're coming back for sure, and probably for albums that will find even more and more sort of, or you at least will. I know we've got some stuff coming up that.
Yeah. What did I say about this album? Like when, because you hit me up about it, but I like forgot that.
Well, you pulled up. We were over at your place. Yeah. And I was telling you about the show, and you pulled up the list of albums that I was going on, and you were scrolling through, and basically you were giving me. You were going, don't know. Yeah. Don't know. Don't know. Yeah, don't know. And I remembered this as being one of the yeahs. Okay, and so I thought, you got to be the guy. But do you have, in the interim, Eazy, do you have anything to plug, anything the two viewers of this show should go check out?
Check out Fake Radio. Check out My Friends Don't Look, Adamir.
Oh yeah, check out the new Don't Look
Don't Look video
for Ian Jacobson, right on time.
Adamir EP. When is this dropping?
Who knows? But tomorrow,
Okay.
Thursday, we'll find out.
So like this week. All right, yeah, because Adamir, March 27th, new EP coming out. It's called Roots. Yeah.
That's something to look forward to. Yeah, that's gonna be great.
So yeah, check out the homies. Check out me. I just dropped one with my boy from high school, Lottie Ogun. Check him out too. And then I can't say who I'm recording one this week, but I can't say who.
Exciting guest.
It's y'all not ready for it. Like y'all think y'all ready because it's my most requested guest. Like I've had it in a while, but I've been waiting for the time, the like right time to do it, and we doing it.
And it's happening.
So,
Well, I'm looking forward to that. Easy.
I appreciate you.
It's been a pleasure to have you on.
It's been a pleasure.
Of course.
This is super fun.
Well, thank you. I'm glad.
That's happened with the Evan Here's Culture campaign.
the greatest show on the internet besides fake radio.
Besides fake radio.
Yeah.